Welcome to Ex-Offenders, Reshaping the Narrative. This is brought to you by your host, Kenton Bell. Hello, thank you for coming. Wow. So a negative concept restricts ex-offenders' employment possibilities. Likewise, a positive self-esteem produces an active self-agency that drastically leads to the succession of social reintegration. The following is a step-by-step workshop presentation that provides a customized instructional method that sheds light on how to boost self-esteem in ex-offenders, resulting in higher probabilities of employment and job retention.
Let's go!
It is no mystery that incarceration can have adverse effects on offenders' self-esteem. It has been reported that prisoners often experience a reduced sense of self-worth and value. Psychologist Daniel Bruce writes, prisoners may come to think of themselves as the kind of person that deserves only degradation. Let's take a look at some reasons why ex-offenders might be dealing with low levels of self-esteem. While serving time in prison, offenders are subject to loss of their own personal rights. They lose control over every aspect of their life. They are told when to eat, when to sleep, and when to participate in outdoor activities. As well, prison is famously known for having a volatile environment. Being exposed to violence and toxic behaviors can undoubtedly have a hostile effect on one's self-value. Furthermore, upon ex-offenders' re-entry into society, there are several employment barriers that can stunt them from attaining a healthy self-concept. These barriers are a lack of employable skills, a lack of motivation, and social discrimination from potential employers, family, and/or friends. So why is it important for ex-offenders to have a positive self-concept? It's because offenders with a negative self-narrative are likely to continue to offend, while those who have developed a clear and positive narrative are able to gain meaningful employment, which is one of the best predictors of post-imprisonment success. Abraham Maslow, an award-winning psychologist, indicates that psychological well-being is not possible unless the essential core of an ex-offender is fundamentally accepted, loved, and respected by others and themselves. There is an advantage for those who feel good about themselves. They tend to be able to cope more effectively with discriminating employment challenges. A positive self-esteem is important because offenders are a product of their own self-narrative. As career counselors, a strength-based approach with ex-offenders gives them a positive self-perspective that often opens doors to new possibilities. The following is a customized step-by-step method to assist career counselors in developing ex-offenders' self-concept. This process is a strength-based approach that combines the elements of narrative theory and cognitive information processing approach to maximize the full client's potential. The first step is to establish a working alliance. This is a practice known in a five-fold counseling model that allows the counselor to gain more rapport and trust with the client. It starts with greetings, pleasantries, formalities, and intentional small talk leading to meaningful conversation. When engaging ex-offenders, many conversations they have start with their problems, responsibilities, and/or faults. As career counselors, you should build a healthy alliance with an ex-offender by starting with their strengths, not their issues. It will be refreshing for the ex-offender to establish some strengths which will lead to strong, empathic relationships. After establishing a working alliance, have the client compose a life story by creating a timeline. There are no rules here. Have them include any events they deem significant in their lives. Typically speaking, ex-offenders with low self-esteem tell a story that emphasizes negative experiences. Review these stories with the client and give recognition to any challenges or barriers that may arise. Be sure to link past events with present-day reality. Next, instruct the client to create a list of 5 to 7 accomplishments. This list can consist of anything they are proud of. Have the ex-offender retell these stories back to you. As career counselors, take stock of any strengths, resources, or values you hear within the client's story. Furthermore, ask a series of open-ended questions to inspire deeper thought from the client. The following questions are suggested when targeting ex-offenders. What things about yourself are you proud of? When people have complimented you in the past, what types of things would they say? Given what you went through, how have you managed to survive? Who do you feel understood and/or supported by? What did you want to be when you were a kid? Be sure to take stock of any strengths, personal traits, values, or resources that you recognize within your client's stories and responses. For the next step, have the ex-offender add the accomplishment stories to their timeline. This displays evidence of some positivity within their life story. No one person's story is all negative, and vice versa. For every negative, there is usually a positive. Adding positive aspects to their timeline will help the client start to reframe their narrative. In step 3, review the timeline with the client, encouraging them in all their strengths. This includes any personal traits, talents, resources, core values, or future goals. If the client requires further reassurance of their positive attributes, have the client write a list of their own strengths and then transform them into statements of affirmation. For example, many successful ex-offenders tend to be very punctual. If punctuality is a recognized strength, the affirmation statement will go as follows. I am a very punctual and reliable person. I take pride in being on time and present for all my appointed responsibilities. For homework, it is healthy to read these affirmation statements every day until their goals are achieved. From this point, there should be obvious career goals, directions, or desires that appear. Have the client finish the timeline by adding future goals and career aspirations to their timeline. Adding to the timeline will encourage future commitment to these goals. It will establish some positive probability and hope going forward. After reviewing the completed timeline, it is time to create an action plan. At this point in the process, a seasoned career counselor should be able to parlay information from the timeline into a practical plan of action. This may involve interview training, role playing, resume writing, and network development. Be sure to address any challenges that the ex-offender will face in the course of a job search. And finally, refer the client to any other external support they require. When it comes to career development with ex-offenders, this simple 4-step method is superior to other single-component approaches. This step-by-step guide combines strength-based narrative and CTI theories that prompt a healthy self-concept which raises the probability of employment rates for ex-offenders. Clients are most likely to succeed when they believe in themselves and their future. Remember that our narrative predicts our reality. Be kind to yourself and show compassion. Thank you for listening to me tonight. Have a great night.
Yeah!